Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. Let's talk about ways to beat sugar cravings at night. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast, owner of PutYourselfFirst.com, and founder of Team Power Blast. I'm also a health and fitness coach that just coached thousands of people just to get healthy, fit, a little bit more motivated, live a little happier. And so glad to have you on another show here. We're coming upon 10 years. I think that's next week. Next week will be 10 years for the anniversary. Wow. Got to think of something to do. But anyway, let's talk about ways to beat sugar cravings at night. This has been a topic that's come up with a few people I've coached and me personally. So as we were talking about some of these ideas, I'm like, you know what? How do I beat sugar cravings at night? Sometimes I don't. But there are some things that I've done over the years that especially when I'm really in the zone and really dialed in, those cravings still happen. And I want to share some of those tips and ideas with you. Now, I'm going to assume that you are listening to this, or if you're watching the video version, you're following some sort of health and fitness plan, and there's some sort of downfall that happens late at night. Maybe it's around 8 o'clock. Doesn't matter if you had a long day. It doesn't matter if you just had dinner. Those sugar cravings just kick in at night for some reason. And, for some of you, that might not even be sugar. It might be like a salty or starchy type of thing that you're looking for. And so it's really easy to just, kind of justify things. And all of a sudden you're reaching in the freezer for a tub of ice cream, or maybe it's just a small little taster thing of ice cream, but you're still reaching for it, or it's chocolates for you, or cookies, or maybe somebody made brownies, or for those of you that love chips, etc. I can go down the list, but you could just go and say, you know what, I've got a problem here. I've got this sugar problem. I need to do a sugar detox. But in all practical purposes, you probably aren't going to be able to just start your sugar detox right then and there at your little moment of crisis or anything like that. Now, sugar detoxes, I've done them before, kind of like a Sugar Busters eating plan, or even Beachbody's Ultimate Reset. Not specifically designed to weed you off sugar or anything like that, but following that program, you definitely do. Or even the 3-day refresh. But, even beyond that, sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh, my little cravings thing is kicked in. What am I going to do about it? So you maybe don't have that right then and there. And so over the years, I've done some things that I've tried to nail down what some of my triggers are. And I think that's good for you to do. And maybe some of the things I mentioned in this podcast you'll reflect on, that is, some of the things that trigger this, and if you can adjust that can be a big deal for you in your success. I know for me, there were things that were easily accessible in the kitchen, but I've kind of replaced a lot of things in my house with, there really isn't sugar and brown sugar and things like that are available. It's not like I'm reaching in the cupboard wanting to down a bunch of sugar or anything like that. But just since we're on the topic of sugar, I've replaced, I think, things that I keep in the house now, especially if I'm making different foods or ingredients or recipes, is stevia, B-grade syrup, maple syrup, honey, or agave, and I don't use all those a lot. Probably stevia more than anything, especially if I'm doing coffee. I got to add a little sweetener to my coffee for whatever reason. But still, it seems like many people I coach, even myself, we have those late night cravings and they kick in. So I hope these tips and ideas help you. Okay, one thing you need to do and you want to do this maybe when you're not having your crisis, is to purge your pantry, is to go and clean it out. I've got a free download out there that you can go and get. I've got a couple downloads that I'll reference in this podcast. One's it's at absermade.com, and there's a list that you can just go through and it's just kind of a little cheat sheet on going through and cleaning out the kitchen and what things to do and do that. So when you do that, if there's nothing on hand, there's no temptations for you to go and binge on, okay? Or if you binge on something, it's going to be healthy because you got rid of all the crud. You're already, ready for bed or whatever. You're less likely to head out to the store and go for dessert. So kind of consider that. But if you know that usually it's kind of a routine thing that you're having, plan that evening snack if you're habitual about late night snacking. I have a few ideas. Eat a small portion of a high quality snack. Now you got to plan ahead for that. One thing that I've heard people do, I haven't done this myself, but is to get like some high quality organic chocolate and just break, if they're all sectioned off, break them into little 1 ounce squares and have them individually wrapped. So you're not grabbing the whole bar right away. Now you've got to control yourself, and you're doing that. Yeah, I need a little sweet something or another just to get you through. You got to put that in mind. If you're going to mindlessly munch, you've got another thing that you've got to deal with there. But, doing that, keeping a high quality snack there. I've got a snacks list I'll tell you about I've got there. So here's what I've done. For those of you who are Shakeology lovers out there, catch this little recipe and hear me out on this one. What I've done before, because I get that little sweet tooth sort of thing, once again, planning ahead, is to take like a teaspoon of coconut oil where you melt it, and you can make several of these, put them into like an ice cube tray, and then take like a quarter of a teaspoon of chocolate Shakeology and put it in each one. Stir it up, maybe sprinkle a little cinnamon, maybe put in 1 almond, and freeze those babies for like 20 minutes. Then they come off as like little mini chocolate barks, and you get that coconut chocolate flavor together. They just taste amazing, and it really fits the bill for that sweet tooth. So that may be something that you want to give a try if you're a Shakeology lover. And, I just hear another thing is to eat good fats, like filling up on good fats like avocados or coconut or something like that, helps you resist the sugary things. And I don't know about that. It's just what I've heard. Speaking of Shakeology, I believe that's been clinically proven to reduce sugar cravings. So if you're looking to just reduce the sugar cravings throughout your day, and you find that sugar bug keep creeping in, that may be your option. There's a whole bunch of other benefits to that too, but that's for another podcast, right? The other thing is, here's a tip, is to hide your temptations from view. Maybe you can't purge your kitchen and get rid of a bunch of stuff. I've done this. I found my go-to thing was cereal. It didn't matter if I put milk on it or if I just ate it dry right out of the box. If there was a box, and what was it, like the Kashi Crunch way back when, if that was in my kitchen, you can bet I was grabbing handfuls of it and eating it and mindlessly munching. So what I did was I hid it from view. Now, this may sound extreme to some of you, but it was something that I wanted to have this for breakfast, but I didn't want to necessarily overdo it. So if I was going to have it in my house, I put it out in the garage. Now, my garage was a long way away, so I went and did that. But if you hide it from view, it's there. You can get to it, but if you make it a little bit more of an inconvenience, that may be something to do. I've got a couple things right now that's a little temptation. I like to have it, but it goes into a different place, a higher shelf on the cupboard, not easily accessible. Another tip, if you find yourself just sitting in front of the TV, don't eat in front of the tube. You tend to mindlessly munch, and then you go back and you get more and more and more. before you know it, you have no idea how many chocolate chips you've downed, or how many Oreos you've had, or what are those, Chips Ahoy. You don't know that. So try to do that. And if you're finding that's a trigger, maybe it's just to keep yourself busy and to turn off the TV and do something else that keeps you occupied. Maybe that's calling a friend. Maybe that's going and putting in a yoga DVD, or going to Beachbody On Demand and just doing a light yoga workout, keeping yourself active. Or some people, they like to go and take a bath. That's not my thing, but that may be, when you're taking a bath, then you don't have the snacks easily to go and be accessible. Another thing I've heard of is to eat protein. This is what I will do sometimes, is if I get late at night, if I'm going to have a snack, I'll lean toward getting more of just a protein type of thing. Sometimes I've done things just like some chicken breast, or I even made some egg whites or something like that, just to have something if I've got to have something. Another thing you can do is to go to bed earlier. I hear all you parents out there laughing. Yeah, right. We're going to bed earlier. Anyway, but that may be one thing. Another thing is just to change your routine. Maybe you've got this routine, this habit that you've just every night you tend to do that. I've talked to several friends. It's like every night at this certain time, I sit in front of the tube, crack open a beer, get my bag of chips. Well, if you change that habit, change the pattern, and interrupt that may be a way to do that. Drinking water. Now, I know some of you are probably going, well, I don't want to be up all night in the bathroom, but just drinking water doesn't always necessarily is going to mean that. You don't have to chug down a gallon or anything like that. And sometimes that hunger is really disguised as you're really thirsty, but it seems like you're hungry. So sometimes water can do the trick, and gosh, it's right there. I think that's one of the most easily overlooked things that people have. Another one is to maybe just chew a piece of gum and just keep yourself occupied. Another one is just to stay away from the kitchen. Get yourself away from it. Go back and read a book. Turn all the lights off in the kitchen. Don't make it accessible. This one, I think some of us tend to deal with is just to avoid alcohol. It lowers your inhibitions. I know sometimes it's easy to unwind with a beer or wine or whatever, but then all of a sudden you find yourself prone to justifying the snacking or the sweets or something like that, or you'll do a little extra workout the next day, or, oh, just one won't hurt me, and the next thing you know, you've got a whole jar of peanut butter gone, or you're all of a sudden in that jar of, or the container of ice cream. So that may be it. Another thing, if you're a very high-stressed person, is just to find ways to lower your stress. I've got other podcast on that if you want to go back. I wish I could remember the number of it, but I don't have that. So there you go. I do have a list out there that you can download for free. It's not all based off of sugary types of things, but there's a list of over 50 healthy late night snacks that you can get. You can download it for free at snackslist.com. It's yours. Maybe you can find something in there that when you stock up for having those things accessible and actually portion them out into baggies or containers or something like that. That's a very smart one. That might be another podcast topic in the future. Then you've got those things that when you get those cravings at night, you're reaching for something healthy and not something mindless and regretting and then wondering why your weight loss and fitness program aren't showing the results. You're getting healthier, you're getting fitter, but you're not seeing it, and the pants sizes aren't feeling like they're going down, because the downfall a lot of times is that late night snacking binge or the sugar cravings at night. Anyway, I hope this helped you. If you found value, please pass this on, share it to somebody else, and hopefully this can help them. If you can get yourself over to the iTunes store, give an honest review and rating, that would absolutely rock. I so appreciate you, for subscribing, whether you're in on the video episode here or you're listening to the all new audio only version and you subscribed. We're in iTunes. We're in Stitcher. We're in Google Plus. What is it? Yeah, I think it's Google Plus or Google Play. Google Play. That's what it is. Anyway, I so appreciate you for subscribing and being a fan and messaging me and commenting with your tips and ideas. You absolutely rock. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.